my name is Lorrie and welcome to my channel. We are quilters. Today I am going to show you how to take the feather stitch from last week and make it into a cute little vine. Here are some examples of my cute little vines that I've added. This one I added some beads to. This one I added buttons to with a button flower. It doesn't look like much whenever it is just the vine, but when you embellish it, it turns into something else. So to do the feather stitch, we pulled up from the bottom, and then you make a feather and I'm making the feathers very short, so they look sort of like thorns on a vine. And then I make another one just to get it started. And then I'm going to make a flower I'm going to use Lazy Daisy flower as a leaf. So I'm going to put my needle down in above the feather where it will be part of the vine. I'm going to go off to the side. Notice the big loop. That's going to be my leaf. And I come up. So I'm making the stem on the back side basically, and I have my leaf. I put my needle back down in ahead so it holds it up, and then I go back down to where the stem is. Now the great thing about this vine is that it can be curvy, it can be straight, it can be whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to put a little feather here, and then I'm going to put another one on the other side. And now on this side, and this is just my personal preference, I'm going to make another leaf. So I'm going to go above the feather. It looks kind of like a cane, if you ask me, a candy cane. And I'm going to come out to the side because I like my feathers sort of out to the side. I'm going to come up. The stem is on the back side. I'm going to tack it down. Come up, back out where the stem would be. So this is not a difficult stitch, not by any stretch of it. So I'm going to make some more vine. That means I'm going back to the feather. I pull my thread straight, make a little stitch for the briar. Come to the other side, make a short little stitch for the briar. I'm going to make a feather off to this side since my briar's over here. I'm going to come in right above the feather. I'm going to come up where I want the top of the leaf to be. And then I'm going to, above the leaf, I'm going to go back down in and come out where I want my vine. You notice I'm not pulling anything overly tight. I mean, you can make these little the little jaggers very small. You could use a stem stitch for this too, if you wanted. Time for another leaf. Go in above where the cane or the feather is. Come out so that I make a Lazy Daisy loop. Go back in at the top of the loop and out where I want my vine to be. Now, if I wanted to, I could switch things up and put my little, put it on the same side, It's just a personal preference. And now I'm going to make another leaf. And I notice my thread is getting short. So I might have to tie off. I will have to tie off another piece of thread. So there's my leaf. I think I can get one more piece of vine. So I come back up where the vine is, and I'm going to make another feather, or what looks like a jagger on a vine. And to tie off, so I can put on another piece of thread, I'm going to go above. Now it has been a while since I have made these vines, so I had to practice. That was why I did those other ones, to show you. And I probably have been fiddling around, and part of that time was searching for beads so that I had beads handy. But, you know, no big deal. And I dug around in the button box for a while. No big deal. Let me get this threaded up here. I don't need a whole lot there. I don't know that you will find this stitch, my vine stitch, anywhere in books. It was something I came up with to go with my little button flowers. And I combined stitches. I had a friend that she inspired me. She was one of the smartest people I know. And she has Alzheimer's. Makes me so sad that she has lost all that knowledge that she had. But she had a vest that she had made that was the first time I met her at a teacher meeting, that was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it had a lot of embroidery and fancy machine work. Not necessarily just embroidery, but tucks and pleats, and oh, it was fancy. And so I had to go home and play, and my version was not nearly as fancy as hers, but it made me feel good too when I finally got to work with her, not just at teacher meetings, but then she was a member of the faculty where I was, and she complimented me on my vest, and oh, it made my day. Then I had to tell her I made that vest because of you and your vest, and she was so tickled. Oh, oops. Well, that didn't work out well. You know what happens when it doesn't work out well? You just unthread your needle and pull it out, rethread your needle, and go on. I love that needle threading technique. I wish somebody had showed that to me in my 20s. My train of thought. Another leaf. Another thorn or feather. Look how close I'm getting to the end here. another thorn or feather down above the feather and out where you want the top of the leaf to be when you pull your loop. Down at the top of the loop to hold it. Out where the vine is. And by the way, this is 3 strands. You could do it with more, you could do it with less. Less would make it daintier and less folksy. I think I'm going to do 1 more feather. And then I'm going to finish it off with 2 leaves. So I'm going to put my needle above the feather, come out on this side where I want the leaf to be. Hopefully that won't end up in the seam allowance, but if it does, oh well, that'll just fasten it tighter. Then I'm going to come up where I would like the other vine. And I am going to make another leaf. Sort of fill in that space because I can. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more vine here just by adding a straight stitch right to the seam. So it doesn't look like it's just hanging there. And there we have it. The plain old vine. Like I said, it doesn't look like much until you embellish it. And then it looks like $1,000,000. Let me tie this off very quickly. Make a little loop. And then go through my loop. And that should do it. Let me pull these back over here so you can see them. Those are some glitzy buttons. That vine looked exactly like the one I just showed you. And this one, because of the piecing, it is going up and into that other piece. And let me pull the plain vine back over so you can see it. And there you have it. How to turn feather stitch into vine stitch. Give it a try. If you don't like it, pick it back out. Doesn't take much. And try it again till you get a look that you like. Does make it look fancy schmancy though. See you on Wednesday for Build-A-Block. We're building a schoolhouse.